Welcome back to another vlog. We are doing a little bit of a maintenance vlog today. I am headed down to my father-in-law's house. We are going to help change his starter on his camper van. It is starting to go out and he's starting to get stuck places because the starter is not working. So he's got it started, but he's at a point where he needs a little bit of help. So I have the day and I have my tools and we're going to head down and swap that out for him. So it should be pretty easy, and I'll take you along and show you what it's like to change a starter on a 2-liter turbo diesel on a Sprinter camper van. Here's one of the vans we built a while ago for my father-in-law. He's customized it a little bit since then, but we are going to be changing out the 2-liter turbo diesel starter today. So it does have the 2-liter engine, not the 3-liter V6 like our van. So a lot easier to work on because there's a lot more room. But right down there is the starter, and we can see the bolts. He went ahead and removed a whole heat shield that was here and everything, as well as a bunch of like the turbo actuator, the wastegate actuator here. But yeah, we can at least see the 2 bolts that hold it in place, but it's going to be a combination of coming in from the top and coming in from the bottom. I have never changed one of these starters before, so this is going to be new to me, but I have changed starters, and at least it's not in the V of a V6 or V8 like some motors. So it's on the side, easy to get to, but still going to be interesting to change in general because I've never done it before and I have done zero research on this. He got to this point, needed a couple special tools. I have my tools here with me, which have all of my Sprinter special tools that I purchased over the years, like star nuts and sockets and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to get to it, get started here, and he's going to come out. My father-in-law is going to come out and join me in a second, and we'll hopefully knock this out. I have no clue how long it's going to take, but hopefully not too long. Removing the starter wasn't terrible. There's 2 bolts that are at the top and the bottom, one of which is connected to a bracket for the exhaust. So removing those with a couple of extensions and a very big breaker bar, we were able to get them out and therefore get the starter out. Wasn't too interesting to actually show you on video, so I clipped to the scene where we're actually pulling the starter out. This was about 30 minutes total of getting it out, so not too bad. Mostly just trying to figure out what size sockets and extensions I needed to get the starter and the bolts out. From there, installing the new starter was also just as easy and took maybe 15 minutes total. The hardest part actually about all of this was lining up the bolts for the top and bottom because the starter itself could rotate inside the housing a couple of degrees. It ended up needing 2 people, one my father-in-law, to hold the starter and rotate it clockwise and counterclockwise until I could get the bolts to slide in and start to thread themselves. So the audio here is going to be really bad, but essentially we wanted to make sure it started before we put everything back together. You can do this without having the wastegate actuator or bypass actuator in place because you're just sitting there at idle and making sure that the starter works and everything is good before you put all the brackets and everything back on. Now that we knew it was all good, we tightened up everything and started putting the heat shields and everything back together. Once the heat shield was in place, you can put the bypass actuator or wastegate actuator in place. Not actually quite sure what this is. I know it doesn't go to the wastegate. I think it bypasses the turbo entirely to let it spool, but let me know in the comments if you know exactly what this big actuator is for, because you can see the wastegate actuator down there on the lower part of the screen. But it took a little finessing to get it all lined up perfectly. We did put paint on the threads so we know that the actuator was in the same place that we took it off at. And then once we got everything together, it was just tightening it back up and then going for a test drive. The solenoid has been changed, and because we messed with the turbo actuator, I'm going to go give it a quick little run to make sure everything's good, get it up to speed, make sure that turbo is actually kicking in. And then we're going to call it a day because the van starts right up. He was having intermittent starting issues, and I think we're golden. So he's going to be able to enjoy going out on trips and coming with us now because it's something that we like to do every now and then is do family van trips. But yeah, I'm going to take it for a quick ride down the road and we're going to go from there. Something is up with the microphone because I lost all the audio footage of me talking about the conclusion of this story. But essentially, the starter is good. It's good to go. He went on a van trip over the weekend and it starts up just fine. After the van is nice and warm, it starts up just fine. So we are good to go from there and we can call that job done. I did get stuck by this train for a little bit, so you're going to get to watch this as the outro. But I hope you enjoy this little mini mechanic video that I put together just as a kind of fun afternoon project with my father-in-law, helping him to get his van back on the road. So we'll see you in the next one, and please like and subscribe and join and follow for more videos. See y'all.